Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. We were supposed to get snow overnight.
Yeah, we were.
And yeah, my wife was looking at that. We were coming home from small group last night, and we were supposed to get snow. And then she's looking at the app, and then all of a sudden the app goes, "Oh no, we're not doing that." Like it literally was like, "Oh no more snow." And it changed right as she was looking at it.
They don't know nothing.
I don't know if she doesn't, or if they don't, or if like her app isn't good.
I don't know, because mine changes too sometimes.
Does it?
Where I'm like, I could have sworn that 2 days ago you told me we were going to have snow and sleet.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and it's 47 degrees and with sun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's better that I would love to know the odds of how often they get it right, versus wrong. Is it something that's, if it's 50-50, then why have you? If it's 80-20, then all right, you're going to get it wrong a couple times. But like we were driving home and I could not see out of my car at all. Like my wife's windshield wipers were so bad. They were streaking and it was like on dark country roads and everything. And so I got home and I tried wiping her wiper blades clean, and I wiped mine because I knew I was going to have to drive first thing in the morning, and didn't work either. I'm like, dadgummit, so now I got to replace the wiper blades. I always hate that.
How long have you had those?
About over a year. So about every year I change my wiper blades. That's one of those things that you do it, and because I don't like paying for it, I refuse to pay for it because I can do it. But it's one of those things where you only change them once a year. You're like, oh, wait, how do these come off again?
And then you forget how to do it.
And then you always end up getting like a different pair than you had last year, and that clips in differently. And they give you 47 different clips for all the different options. And it takes you longer than it should. I did have somebody do it one time. somebody just put my face staring at me.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That scared me.
Yeah. I have there's
creepy.
a cutout of me floating around the station.
You should take a picture with you.
The one that was the worst was the one year I did one of those cutouts. They wanted it for a convention, and I did a headstand, and my shirt came up. And so there's my belly button just displayed everywhere. I wish we had that one. That was fun. But yeah, so one year I broke that because they were like, I was like, how much is it? I was getting oil change. Like, hey, you want your wipers change? And I'm like, how much is it? And they're like $18. And I'm like, oh, okay, with the wipers, because that's about what it costs to buy the wipers. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, just do it. It'll save me the time. The reason I bring all this up is driving home, I saw a sign that said, bridge freezes before road. Have you ever seen those signs, Betty Rock?
Bridge freezes before road.
Yeah.
No.
You haven't seen those?
I've seen ones that say bridge may freeze in cold weather. And I'm
Okay.
like, well, yeah, duh. Because
why duh?
Why would it freeze in warm weather? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
So dumb.
So good.
I love
That
your
is so
logic.
dumb. Yeah, your logic I love. And you're not wrong.
Right.
But why would it freeze more than the road before and after it, do you think?
Because there's water underneath.
Water underneath
Why is
what?
there
What
water
if,
underneath
what if
the
it's a
bridge?
bridge over an overpass and there's no water?
Because air freezes.
There is something
All
about
right.
the thermodynamics of like the air underneath the bridge, and there not being like heat to rise up from the earth. I think.
You guys are on it because the ground stays at a somewhat constant temperature. That's like why caves, you go into a cave, it's 70 degrees or it's 68 degrees year round. The ground will get colder, but it stays at a much more regulated temperature. And what happens is the bridge is there, wind and cold is all underneath it and on top of it, because the road just has it on top that's colder. But then it's warmer in the ground. And so the bridge has cold on the top and the bottom, and that's why it freezes. But then when it freezes, the ice that it forms goes out over the joint where the road and the bridge meet. And so that's why it gets slick. As you go to hit the bridge, you can actually hit that ice ahead of time. So it's something to be mindful of.
I'm
as we
pretty
move into
sure
this.
that's what Gavin and I both said. So
Yes.
why reiterate it?
I didn't reiterate it. I explained it more fully because you're like, air! Has sun do air! Cold! So, yes, I did go just a smidge deeper on it. So I apologize for wasting everyone's time. This was a story
Forgiven.
that was quietly not talked about very many places. It's fascinating to me, though. I said when we went through COVID, 5 years ago.
So long.
I'm like, okay, there is a lot of stuff going on. You can go back and pull parts of the show, and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and are things that we are not going to know. And I'm telling you, there are things that we're being lied to about. I promise you all that.
They're lying to us.
I know. And it was true. Like, the farther you get away from that. Now, some of that was just trying to get their arms around it and create, prevent mass hysteria and all of this stuff. And like governments, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but governments will sometimes lie or hide the truth or not be fully disclosure or transparent with things because they're trying to stave off people's reactions and make things worse. So I fully understand that inside of all of this.
They did it on purpose.
Well, I mean, honestly, you got Fauci that's like, yeah, we lied about some stuff, and
explain aliens.
Yeah, and so it was a mess. But this was kind of sad. They're saying that now vaccinations, because that was a big thing. Mm-hmm. People were so... The whole vaccination thing for COVID destroyed families, destroyed friendships, destroyed so many things because it was so polarized and the government pitted us against each other. And that's not a conspiracy. If you weren't vaxxed, you were killing people, was the narrative. And people ran with that. And people were like, if you're not vaxxed, you're not my friend anymore. And it was, I'm not seeing you. You can't come to Christmas. It was so bad. And then there were other people that are like, hey, I don't know that I trust the vaccine, guys. This got rushed through. I don't know that this is safe. And there were small things that people were saying, and then they were labeled as lunatics. And you're like, oh, well, they're the fringe, and they're just doing their politics and blah, 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 blah. Well, now you get 5 years away from it, and things start to come out about it that are credible. And you've got the FDA saying that at least 10 children died from heart inflammation connected to the COVID vaccine.
That's terrible.
And that's the 10 that they're talking about. You know,
that's a good point.
There's going to be, or there would be more than that. And so this is the memo didn't disclose the health conditions of the kids prior to. But with kids, there's usually, with adults that took the vaccine or that died from COVID, it was always a pile-on effect. They already had something else going on, and then this happened. But there were people that were healthy prior to, got the vaccine, and had worse health.
I have a friend like that, Penny, that she swears that after she got the vaccine, she said it must have created all kinds of things in her system that were dormant.
Yeah.
But then when she got the shot, then it just went crazy.
I get this weird thing where I feel like I'm on fire, almost like a lady with a hot flash. I get this thing, like I feel like I'm on fire from inside, and like I'm going to this is the sign I'm going to get sick this week or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it fuels and builds up inside of me. And then it will go away. It subsides.
Turns out he just had a gas station burrito.
Yeah.
And he had a tender tummy.
That happens from time to time.
His tummy was a little tender.
But I think that is a result of me having the vaccine. Now, can I prove that? I'm not a scientist, so no. But I never had that my whole life. Mm-hmm. I go all these years. What am I, 57? I go all these years. I've never had that before I got the vaccine. And then after that,
when did it start?
After the vaccine.
It did right out. Okay.
Yeah, like after that and getting COVID. Like I even got COVID with the vaccine, And that was the other thing. It's going to prevent this. And then it's like, oh, well, it's going to just make it not as bad, we're still getting it anyway. So it was crazy, but this I think is really sad because if you extrapolate this out and you look at this, what's sad about this is it was like, no, you have to do this. They tried to get compliance for this by making your life very difficult. Like you're trying to have a normal life and they're like, well, you can't travel. Sorry. I'm like, well, I want to travel. Oh, you can't go to this place. Oh, well, I want to go to this place. Well, you got to get the vaccine. So I acquiesced, and I'm so mad that I acquiesced and gave in to that pressure not that pressure, but that I gave in just so I could go do the things I wanted to do. And because I wanted to travel. And I'm like, I'm not going to stop that. So this is what I have to do. And I'm so mad at myself for giving in. And and people that didn't give in were vilified. You're the devil for not doing this. Like, no, they're not. They shouldn't be forced to take a vaccine that they don't trust. Like, no one should. And kids especially, man. Like, so when you see this, it's really sad because those 10 parents, the guilt they have to have. And you'll try to rationalize it and be like, but the government told me this is what I had to do, and I'm so sorry. But that doesn't bring your kid back, And so if there were cover-ups and there were people that knew this stuff, and I don't know how they look at themselves, and to force the narrative, knowing it could hurt people and kill children, and you still went along with that. That is a new level of disgusting to me that they're going to have to deal with or be held accountable someday for. But I thought, I was like, man, that is super sad. Now, I know you're wondering, how am I going to ever segue that into some entertainment thing?
How can you do it?
Speaking of dying, celebrities and their lifespan compared to other people, there is a difference between those two, correct?
When it comes to segues, Wally, you are the king.
Thank you. I nailed that. Let's go, Ready Rock.
So,
what do you got?
I found this whole article about how they have proven psychologically as well as physically that fame will kill you.
I love this.
Okay, so if you take all these people that are famous, they tend to die pretty early. You look at Elvis Presley. He was 44. Michael Jackson was 50. Kurt Cobain was 27. Oof. All of these people had a lot of stress on them, and they said that fame does this to you. There's intense public scrutiny, there's performance pressure, there's loss of privacy, and that can really play a toll on you, not only mentally, but as well as physically.
I would like to see some other examples, because the ones that you mentioned, substance abuse played a huge role in that.
Well, but that's part of the problem, because when you're dealing with scrutiny and pressure and the loss of privacy, it can lead you into coping behaviors, harmful coping behaviors. And yes, that can lead into drugs. So what's so crazy, though, to think about is like those people that I mentioned, they had a lot of money, so they should be able to get better health care. Yeah. But that just goes to show that it doesn't matter if you have the better health care, it's still going to take a toll on you.
Yeah, I think that if you live a life, like if you take, like, say...
Amy Winehouse, that's another example.
What a train wreck, unfortunately. Yep. You take a lot of these things, or young Disney stars that grow up under this pressure and their lives implode, and you take a normal kid that didn't have any of that, and are they happier, more well-adjusted? Probably so. The vast majority of them.
But I think it's a good study to do, because it can help current as well as future celebrities figure out what they need to do.
Recognize the trappings, maybe too.
That maybe some things are important, some things are not.
Yeah, I had a meeting with my doctor like a couple weeks ago. And it was kind of like, it was a really honest meeting, and for the first time for me, like in a lot of years, talking with anybody about stuff that I have going on, like in my melon. And like it was a good conversation. It didn't necessarily change my position for me on medication or things like that. But it did make me go, if I'm not going to go that route, I need to be cognizant and more aware, more hyper vigilant of things that, and I hate this word, would triggers or whatever, or things that would set me off, or things that are going to bother me, and preemptively de-escalate that in my head prior to. And so if I'm not going to let medicine balance that out, I have to then
take personal ownership.
Exactly. And I've been really working on that. Like, I had an email from something at work yesterday that I had to write in a disagreement with somebody, and I wrote my first draft. And it was accurate, and it was fine. I wouldn't have taken it badly, but I know the person on the other end would have taken it and maybe cried, because it was going to a woman who's going to read that differently than a guy. And so I put it through ChatGPT, and it really softened it up way too much. So I put
too much.
It was too much. I put about 20 minutes into this thing to try and craft this right, so that I would be portrayed in the right light, have it say what I needed it to say, but have it not be curt or caustic.
Right.
And so, like, I know that's how I am, and I know how things escalate. And so I was proactive in doing that. Took me more time. It was a pain. But at the end of the day, when email responses come back, I'm not stressed because, okay, I'm in for a fight. And this is going to be the next email that's the next level of a fight, you know? And so for me, that was like super helpful. And it was a good like first step in, okay, this does work and you can do this, you know, kind
I
of
like
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's good advice to give to anyone that says, well, I don't want to, I know I have some issues, but I don't want to go the medicine route or the therapy or the talking route, whatever. Okay, that's fine, but you are going to have to take personal ownership in that. And so when I point it out to you, you need to be okay with that because it's not my problem. You're actively making a decision to not make a decision.
Correct. And like, so my wife and I, the other night, like, I don't like being told how to drive. It really drives me nuts. But like, she doesn't always know if my head is completely there or not because I get really distracted with work thoughts and I'll miss a turn because she said something about, the office, and then I start driving to the office, you know, or whatever. But like, so then last night, it was hard to see on the road, and she was like, because I was about to turn into the wrong part of this thing, and it would have been on the wrong side of the road. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not upset. That's not on her. That's on me because I was not doing it well. And now the future of that is because there are times when I'm distracted, I need to be more flexible when she's telling me things because it's on me because I haven't proven that I'm always here. Now, if I go through a stretch of time where I'm like, I'm always here mentally, then we can back off on that, you know? And so, it's part of that because my doctor was like, it's funny, man. Like we'll talk about this. I didn't know if I was going to talk about this, but I'll talk about it. So he was like, from the conversation we're having, and I got like emotional, because he's like, well, maybe you want to talk to somebody, you know, and then he was like, and you know, we can put you on medicine and that'll balance you out a little bit and stuff like that. And I was considering it and I was wrestling through it. And this is for me. Okay. I have to be very clear on this. Okay, this is my perspective on it for me and not for other people. Because he said, well, what would you tell somebody else? I say, I tell people this all the time. I say, if you're not right, if there's a chemical thing, get medicine. There's no shame in it. Do that.
Exactly.
And he goes, well, why would you not tell that to yourself? And I said, because I don't know that it's necessarily chemical for me. I don't know that it's that. It might be more situational or just how I'm wired, you know? and I said,
I could make a sound with my eye roll.
I know. And so I said, I said, look, I have a different standard for myself than I have for other people. And I know it makes no sense to anybody. But I was like, I would feel worse about myself taking the medicine than I would trying to be proactive in handling it. I would see myself as less because I couldn't figure it out myself. And so that's how I see it. Again, for me, not for anybody else, you know?
The way I kind of see it as the same situation is when I hear of a woman who, when she's actively in labor, she chooses not to take the help.
Right, yes.
And she's like, no, I want, and here's the thing. She has every right to go all natural. She doesn't want to get the drugs to help numb some of the pain. Right. That's all her. That's okay. But I think some women do that as a pride issue.
Sure. I think there's an element to that.
I did it all natural. I didn't go to the hospital.
Yep.
I stayed home. And it's like, okay.
I think it's both.
Like, why would you actively choose the harder path?
I think
because
for women,
of your pride?
There's a pride issue. There's I don't want these chemicals in my body. I don't want the risk of an epidural. I think it's different for everybody, but I think there's a lot of different factors. But I do think pride is one of them. 100%. My pride of not being able to figure something out or control myself is the issue. And so for me, I go, okay, if I can control that, then I'm good to go. Like, so I just have to take the steps in myself to be proactive with it
How
and
about we
control
do
it.
this? How about you do get the help, but you just don't tell us.
My wife told me that too. She's like, you don't have to tell
Don't
anybody.
tell anybody.
I know.
Don't even tell us.
She told me that, but I'm like, it doesn't matter because I know I came up short. Like that's the thing.
That's not coming up short.
For me, it is. Like, that's what I'm saying. For me, not for anybody else, but for me, I see it as coming up short. I see it as
weaker then.
As I see it as I'm weak and that I could not figure something out because I have zero reason to complain. I have zero reason to be sad. I have zero reason to be depressed. My life is good. I have so much goodness in it. And if I can't see that because I'm so narcissistic or I'm so self-absorbed or I'm so, frustrated or whatever it is, that's a me problem, and I gotta get that right,
I would disagree.
Yeah, I know you will. And I know a lot of people will. And this is not for everybody.
But I also think a lot of men fall into that category too, and that's why a lot of men find themselves really down in it and they don't know how they're going to get out because they let their pride get in the way of seeking help.
100% fair.
What could convince you?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a fair question, and I've wrestled through this.
Because I would say one factor you need to consider is if Marty keeps saying, I don't want to drive, and you're the one that's driving, and yet your ADHD or whatever is taking your mind elsewhere, that's a situation because now you're affecting other people's lives.
Right. It's not that I'm going to get in an last night was I couldn't see. Like that was hard, but it's not like I'm going to get in an accident because I'm distracted. I make a wrong turn or something like that. Like I'm still super aware and I'm not dangerous. My whole life I've been in one accident when I was 16, and that was my fault, but it was a dumb little fender bender. I'm a good driver. But yeah, what would it take? The answer is I don't know. I don't know. And I think that for me, I have an appointment with my doctor to follow up. We set a time limit. We said, okay, let's give it till December because he's like, I hit you with a lot. Let's give it till December, and then we'll revisit this. And so I was like, I'm going to cancel that. But I'm going to go through it with him. I'm going to go to the appointment, and I'm going to tell him where I'm at. And I'm going to say, look, I want to keep the option open to call you at one time if this isn't working and go, yeah, I got to do this. And we'll keep that door open and we'll keep the conversation going. Mm-hmm. But for right now, I'm going to hold off. And I think you say pride. It's part of it. It's pride and hypocrisy because I have spent how many years here saying we over-medicate our kids. We over-medicate society. And if all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need this, I'm part of that problem. I'm a hypocrite now. If I say we over-medicate society and then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't cope. I need to medicate, And so then I'm a hypocrite. And that's worse to me. Being weak or a hypocrite is horrible for me.
Once again, I'm gonna stress that he's hypothetical, but hypothetical hate. Let's just say you did have a son. Take all the funniness out of it. Yeah. And your son says he shows all the same symptoms of you, the ADHD, all the things. Yeah. And he said, I don't want to take it because I feel like I'm going to let you down.
That'd be hard.
Would you say, yep, I think you're right. I think you should work on it.
Yeah, that's why I prefaced all of this with saying it's 100% a me thing and a me problem, and it's not the advice I would give to anybody else. And that's the crazy part of it. And I see it. It's not like I don't see it. I see it. And the doctor and I were debating this, and he's like, well, what if your wife? Absolutely, she should, But then I flipped that. I'm like, look at her. She's lost her whole family on her side, and she's doing okay. So how can I not be the strong one in the marriage? And that's what I have to be. I have to be that rock. And she's the one that should be unfolding. If she's not unfolding, why would I? And so
maybe what it would take is someone like Nate Bargatze, someone he looks up to that's a man, Ryan Reynolds. And find out, he's taking some kind of medication.
It wouldn't. It honestly wouldn't, because I have friends that I love dearly, and they're like, oh yeah, I saw a counselor, and I was shocked, and I'm like, what? Guys my age, I'm like, holy cow, that's crazy. But then it didn't make me go, oh, that's okay for me then too. Yeah, I'm so resolute and so set in my ways, and I know that's part of the problem. But it's also part of the solution for me is that if I am so set, then I have the responsibility to be cognizant and to make the better choices, and so, and to choose. I've talked about this for years too. Like I have to choose joy some days. That's why I don't think that my thing is chemical. Because here's the other thing. I would never disrespect somebody that has a chemical imbalance and fights with depression. I think that's serious. It's messed up, and get the help you need. Like I think what I deal with is not that. I think that is a whole nother ballgame. It's like when someone's like, I dropped my toast on the ground. I have PTSD. No, you don't. You don't even know what PTSD is. You are being disrespectful to everybody that really suffers from that. And so, like, for me, I think that mine is more situational. And my wife even said, she said, but you said you've always been this way. Yeah, I guess I always have. But it's been, 57 years. But I still think it's more maybe it's not situational. I don't know if it's been that long. Maybe it is. I don't know. But no, I wasn't always I've always had a real dark side. I guess I've always had a real dark side, even from the time when I was a kid. As I think about it, as I process this. Thank goodness I'm not talking to anybody.
Yeah, because that would be so weak.
So maybe I don't know, maybe it was chemical. I don't know. But I don't tend to think mine is as serious as other people, like the people that can't get up out of bed, the people that can't function. Yeah. I have so many great days, and then I'll have bad days or bad hours. Yeah. I think maybe that's the difference. People that get owned by this, I feel for them, man, and their families and the people around them. Please do whatever it takes. I don't think I'm to that point where I'm not functional, kind of thing.
But I also don't think I don't think you have to be on like the end of that spectrum to need the help too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's, it's not black and white. Like there's a lot of gray in between when it comes to your mental health.
But then there's a difference between sadness and depression too, I think. And so if I were to just be like, oh, I'm sad, I need medicine, then I'm part of the problem. Do you see what I mean?
No, but I'm just saying that this isn't necessarily like you seeing somebody who knows more than we do about psychology.
Betty has a degree.
I know.
She's been helpful.
I'm not your psychologist.
You're doing great.
You do not pay me enough. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But it's part of one thing we don't care for is people who like self-diagnose in this world.
Right.
But then there's also like a little bit of a danger in just self-diagnosing yourself as okay.
If you're wrong,
too.
Right? Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh no, I'm fine. Like that's the same thing as somebody else.
Doing it on the opposite.
It's the opposite of someone saying I'm depressed.
That makes sense. That's a good point. I think that here's the deal. I will I will do therapy if Betty Rock is my therapist.
Nice.
No.
You have a degree.
You don't care about it.
Yeah, that's fine. But if it takes its toll on you, but it helps me, then that's what a good therapist would do.
No, I think what would be fun is if we had this conversation again, but after you tried ADHD medicine.
Oh, it's not ADHD medicine. He wasn't talking about that. He was talking about like.
I don't care. Name the medication. I don't care.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
But then you be on that for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about it after that.
Yeah.
See if it even changed you.
Sure.
Because the thing is, you could get off of it if you want, not cold turkey, but you could slowly get yourself off of it. But it's not like me and Gavin and all the rest of the potties are going to sit here going, that guy.
I know.
So
but but that's the thing.
I might.
Yeah, I know. And I would respect you for doing that. You should hold me accountable.
I wouldn't. I'd say, thank God.
My wife said the exact same thing. She's like, just don't tell anybody. You don't have to tell anybody. But this is truth serum for me. This like having this conversation right now is why we do what we do, and like I wouldn't be able to not talk about it kind of thing.
I think too, this could be a kind of thing where, we always said, you've always said women will wear makeup and wear the fancy dresses and all that to impress other women. It's not to impress other men.
Right.
And I think that's the same situation for men when it comes to mental health.
Yes.
Like you're trying to impress other men.
Yeah, that you're strong.
And maybe your dad that passed away
Absolutely.
being like, yeah, I didn't give in. You know, I fought to the death. Whereas women are looking at it going, to me, that comes across as like you're taking the harder path, you're choosing the harder path,
Right.
and making it difficult. And I'm not saying you're doing this right now. I'm saying working with you almost 20 years, I have seen it where you have made other people in your life and made their lives difficult because of some of the things the decisions that you're making.
Sure.
And so to me, that is the weak part.
Right. I think that you're right in that essence is that guys definitely do that, and you don't want to come across that way.
But who knows if you don't say it?
Right, I know, but the exact same thing I told my wife, and she goes, but no one is going to know.
No.
I said, I will. And that's the problem, is I know if I'm on the air after that and I'm like, gosh, we over-medicate America, and I'm taking medicine, I can't ever say that again. Like, I cannot.
Well, then don't say it. Like,
But it's what I feel. Like, if I see some story or I see somebody that's like, oh, I'm triggered, it's like I can't even have that opinion anymore if I'm over here whining about my mental health.
Unless you have a truly dignified medical.
And that's the thing. I don't think I do. See, that's it. And I self-diagnosed.
But we don't
because
know.
he went to doctor school,
Right.
Gavin.
I would,
And he knows.
The funny thing is I thought about this. I thought the only you asked what would it take? The only way it would take what it would take for me to talk to someone or do like therapy probably would be to do it as a bit on the show, like where I could like either have them either do it live in here or like tape it and then run stuff back so that I get content
And
out of
I
it.
feel like you would get a lot out of it because you're really weird in that, you know, like you're a very emotional person, but you're also like you take pride in weird things.
Yeah.
And then the things you should take pride in, you're like, ugh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like you want to be known as the problem.
Yeah. Instead of I don't like when people talk about.
I'm not sure where that came from.
I don't like when people talk about the good things that I do. Because I do a lot of good things. I do good things for people, and that's the problem. See, you're part of the problem, Rog. You have done this to me. Yeah, how did I get this way? You.
Just trying. Doing my best.
You're to blame, and so not me. But yeah, so I don't talk about the good things that I do. Like I get really squirrely. Like I'll get an email from someone. I'm like,
he will interrupt a conversation.
Yeah.
To talk about all the bad
100%.
things.
100%. It makes no sense.
Get on the air. Let me tell you about the horrible thing that I did.
You're new? You don't know me? Oh, let me tell you a story. I did that the other day with someone. I was at Disney, and somebody we were talking to, I'm like, let's share this story. All right, you know what? That is enough psychobabble for today. Do you have any birthdays or no?
I do.
Okay. We need to do that, and then we need to wrap it up.
Because he is done with his psychology.
That, and we have stuff we got to do. We got to shoot a video.
Ethan.
Wait.
Who is this shout out for? Everything is topsy-turvy on my document.
No, what has happened?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Is your computer upside down?
No, I'm wrong.
Okay.
Mom, Dad, Madeline, Will, Avalon, and Chasen. Wow, all with Y's.
Wow.
Except for Will. Why aren't you William?
Willie.
Oh, Willie. I was going to say Willin, but okay. They want to wish Kai a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Kai.
Let's go.
They said we missed his birthday last month.
What?
Uh-oh. He turned 6. He is wickedly funny, very athletic, and super loving. He loves video games and is very good at making up songs and raps.
Kid's headed for my future. You look at my future there, Kai.
Scary. I know. What's your favorite video game of all time? I don't have one. You?
Oh, Fortnite.
I never got into that.
It was a good season.
Yeah. My driving game.
That's not a video game.
Oh, okay.
They don't have a video version of that?
I mean, there probably is.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You liked that kangaroo one.
Oh,
That was at the
Kangaroo
arcade.
was great. Kangaroo was the dumbest game ever. You would punch things as a kangaroo.
Oh.
But I loved that. I love Popeye, Shinobi. I like old school. But I've never bought an old school video game, like the stand-up arcade games, because they make them now with 2,000 games in them. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted one when I was younger. And then now I'm like, I don't want that. It's just an eyesore in my house kind of thing. But then I have a whole, I have a racing seat and my TV and a steering wheel upstairs.
Not an eyesore.
Yeah, not an eyesore at all. Pretty baller. All right, that's going to do it for your Aftercast for today. And as always, thanks for being a potty.